Good morning, Turtle Club. It is just about a little bit, just a smidgen, just a couple of seconds before 8:30 Eastern Time, and that means it's time for some Home for the Galaridays. I am Mag Synchro with Convertible Turtle Gaming, and this is episode 6. Episode 6, as you can tell, is right in the box we're in. We try to see what we got going on to begin with. We don't do a whole lot of catching during the episodes because we are trying to advance plot and trying not to be all grindy. But I want to show you guys in between episodes what we've been up to. So, a few things. We did go on another wild zone tear here. No daycare hatching this time, just going through and just catching some of these guys in the wild. We did get a couple of notables. The most notable, of course, is we did get some more water type that we may want to use, like this barboach for the fire gym coming up. But the really notable, in my head at least, is we did get a Clobopus and we did get a Pancham at very highish levels for us, which is important. But the real good thing, in my opinion, is right here, the Gigantamax Butterfree. Nothing really special about it so much when you look at it, say on the surface, right? We do get some really good moves. Bug Buzz is the most important that I had, if I had to say for certain. The other really important thing is when you do these Gigantamax and these Dynamax battles, you do have a chance. It's not a guarantee, but you do have a chance of coming up and getting a hidden ability. Now, this particular Pokemon unfortunately didn't get one. Its ability is Compound Eyes. We do have a chance, though, of getting a Tinted Lens. And that's, for Butterfree, that's actually a pretty good ability to have. No really important ribbons, just to kind of breeze through these guys to give you an idea. Which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. The other thing that is of some note is we did catch us also a level 30 Snorlax in a Dynamax grade. This guy is going to be very impressive for us later on in life, but at the moment, not so much. So what we have here, storyline-wise, is we just got through getting past the water gym. We had some lunch. Well, almost had some lunch with the chairman, and then he took off, and then we found out that the actual gym leader for the fire gym, Kabu, is holed up in this mine somewhere practicing stuff. So we're going to go through the mine. We're going to see what all we can get into. There are a couple of interesting Pokemon for us to find here. Mainly Scrafty, which is a really nice dark move Pokemon for us to have. Not really kind of gunning for it, though. Then, of course, the Shellos, which isn't too bad of a Pokemon, but the one I'm really interested in is this Wormpod. And they're not easy to find. They're not easy to get a hold of. They are a little rare. They are also, as you can tell, skittish. They like to just jump out for you. As is the Noibat. Noibat's actually a good one to get too. But the odds of us finding even one of those is going to be rather difficult because they do like to run away. So we're gonna try to catch one of these two. It's not gonna take us too long. Again, when we try to set out for a specific Pokemon in the stream series, which we are trying to play 100% through the story, we are super effective with the fighting type against the dark type, of course. But we are wanting to only spend a little bit of time on catching certain Pokemon, because this game is amazing. It is one of those games that you play for the long haul, especially if you're wanting to be a competitive battler at the end game. And you have so many hours ahead of you of grinding and leveling up certain Pokemon, of EV training, of IV, farming. It's kind of rather hard to keep up on it. And we're just going to kind of wait there and up. And Scrafty kind of got the slip on us. Oh, there's two Scrafties. So we're going to leave this spawn spot. Alright, and so here's one of the other Pokemon that's kind of good here. So you see this little Pokeball sort of buried in the sand. This is a Stunfisk. And Stunfisk, check him out. You get too close to him, and they try to hit you like a bear trap. They're kind of fun, but if you touch them after they pop up, you wind up fighting them. Really easy to fight, unlike the worm pods and the Noibats. Getting them was not as easy. Fortunately, double kick with our particular fire rabbit doesn't do that much damage to this thing because our fire rabbit's physical attack is weak. And this thing is metal. I want to say metal water. I can't remember 100% though. Metal poison, actually, I think is what it is. He got us with metal sound. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be throwing our Pokeball at him, hoping to get him inside the starter ball here. Nope. We had a... Oh, here comes a mud shot. I think he might be still ground, which is unfortunate. But we do have some Pokemon that we can use instead. Speaking of ground, let's see if there's anything in here that we can use that might not be the strongest move against him. Bind. So this is one of the reasons why I like Sobble on my other playthrough. Because Bind is a very low damaging move that does some damage over time. It will tie up the Pokemon a bit, unless you get sucker punched in the face. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it does do some damage repetitively. And again, not a whole lot, but enough to where we should have been able to get into the red like we just did and throw another Great Ball at it. Hopefully this time we'll get 1, 2, 3 click. There we go. Alright. So this is one of the on the to-do list to catch things here. We're gonna go ahead and give our smelling salts that we have to the poor unfortunate Score Bunny that got knocked out in our party. And let's see here. No, Lemonade's a little too much for him. So is that. Soda Pop's not too bad. We're only going to lose a few hit points on Soda Pop. Alright, so here we go with the Pokemon to fight. For the most part, these trainers are all rock type and fighting type. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch out. Go under our box. We're going to go and grab our Butterfree. Not the Dynamax Butterfree, which is over here. But we're going to grab this Butterfree here because it's got Air Slash and Psybeam. And that's going to make life a whole lot easier for us in here. Fire Rabbit, as nice as you are, buddy, you're just not that nice. Really good in the wild zones. Not so much in this particular area. And if you are not familiar with Pokemon in general, the game is basically rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, shotgun, nuclear bomb, lava. Hey, DB Master, how's it going? And so we guessed poorly. Psybeam might get us out of a tight jam here. We'll switch over to water after this thing kills us. Ancient Power, that's not going to kill us, I don't think. Wait, we're flying. Yeah, that's going to be hurtful. So Pokemon, we're going to switch out. We're going to go to Corphish. So yeah, every single type of Pokemon's got at least one elemental affinity. For the most part, there is one notable exception to that. Rapid Spin, yay! But if you know their types, you can basically rock, paper, scissors them away. In this case, the Carkol is a rock and fire, and rock is destroyed by erosion, i.e. water, And fire, of course, is destroyed by, well, dousing the flames. So we're going to hit this thing, and it's going to do 2 times damage because it's rock, and further 2 times damage because it's fire. And this little simple low-level bubble beam move is going to take this thing all the way out. To be fair, I think Hardpoles could have sturdy, so a single shot taking it out wasn't going to happen. We, of course, did get a Carcoal the first mine we went into. 3 Dusk Balls. They catch things in the dark. As far as fishing goes, nothing we're really interested with here. Eventually we'll get a really cool bike, which will let us go through here to get some stuff. Of course, we didn't set up our lineup, so we are going to be paying for that with our Butterfree having to switch out. We'll have to fix that next move. Here comes Squirfish. So, something that may be better is Flying Water, which is what our Gyarados is, except for, realistically speaking, the rock does do extra damage against flyers. So it's kind of like half a dozen of one or the other. We're probably going to put Gyarados up front, though, because he's going to have the best type coverage. And, like an idiot, we kept Corphish out there, and we're going to have to pull out Gyarados anyways. I'm definitely really happy about the Dynamax Butterfree that we caught the other day in between streams here. Rock Throw. Yeah, it's super effective, but he's kind of small, so we should be alright. We're going to use Waterfall. Whirlpool's kind of a good trapping move, but we're not trying to trap. Focus Energy. Getting pumped. This time we can use Whirlpool because we're not really worried about too much doing a lot of damage. Just a little slower. Sobble leveled up. We're going to have to tell Sobble to chill once again. Once again. The starter Pokemon, if you want to get the best move sets to basically kind of go easy street throughout the other gyms, you want to keep not evolving them until they hit 34. Grip Claw. Multi-turn attacks, Bind Wrap, Whirlpool. All those kind of tie into that. Miss the Stunfisk. Ha. Poor Scrafty, he wants to come after us in the Team Yell guys. Team Yell typically going to be hanging out with dark dudes, so you want some sort of fighting type coverage. We don't really have that with this particular team, but we can go and check our summary real quick and see what these guys have. Brutal Swing, not bad. Bulldoze. Butterfree probably needs to be restored, and because we kind of want to get Mudbray up a little bit, we'll go this way. Usually these guys do team battles. So we kind of want to capitalize on the fact that we know that these guys are going to be probably doing a team battle. And again, they're basically the whole entire point is to delay us and prevent us from getting to the next gem. And Hop, a little bit on the pure side, right? It's like, hey, you got fans. Oh, wait a second. Yep, we're ready. We're gonna take them on. And here it comes. Team Vuvuzela ×2 versus us. In perfect sync, they send out their Pokemon, their Nickit and their Lanoon. Well, Thievul and Lanoon. Alright, Butterfree and Wooloo. So, in this fight, you kind of wind up being on the side of keeping Wooloo alive. Which is, as you can tell, not as easy as it could be. Square, of course, holds his own pretty well compared to Wooloo. And we know we can take out this Lanoon in a few seconds. Down goes the Lanoon. Between the two, the Nickit Thievul line, their statting is really just bad. So if you have to fight both of them at the same time, then your best option is simply to take out the Lanoon, because they do get some really aggressive stats. Same thing happens between Pancham. We want to absolutely take that out with an Air Slash. It's got better statting than the Thievul once again. And between two separate Pokemon, old Hop over here is almost taken out a Pokemon. Guess we'll Sleep Powder it, because we really don't want to waste the PP on this particular Pokemon, because we know our Flying move is going to take it out no matter what. And Hop will simply just take it out this turn. Here comes the Life Pod. And we'll just Air Slash this thing. If it survives the onslaught of both of us, which it looks like it will, then the next move we'll use, since we're tormented, which means you can't use the same move twice, guys, we're going to go ahead and Sleep Powder it. Looks like Quarter Squire's out. It is worth noting that the Team Yell guys, since we knocked out one of their Pokemon, they're no longer in sync. Which is kind of funny to watch. And it's only when you knock them out, though, they go back into sync when the camera cuts away. Because technically, the actual models that are used for them, they are despawned and then respawned. Pokemon games do that a whole lot. Things are not persistent between scene to scene at all. Corphish, Mudbray. And these guys are just... It's hard to stay angry at them. Maybe he's further in. Yeah, he probably is. There's a Choodle, there's a Dreadnought. Now, Dreadnought would be a real nice boon at this point. Butterfree, everything's sealed up because of the way these fights work, usually. We're going to go ahead and go after the Dreadnought and the shiny that was over here. Boom. Wow, Dreadnought. This saves us the time of having to evolve a Choodle. This is mainly a Pokédex snag for the most part. We're going to go ahead and side beam it once to see if we take it out. If we don't, we get Rock Tomb. Yuck. Well now, definitely use our next Pokemon. Trying to see what we really want to hit this thing with. Brutal Swing shouldn't be too bad. Providing we're faster than it, because we are a ground type, just saying it does have water. It's going to be... And I think rock's actually super effective. No, it's not. I'm thinking the other way around. Ground to rock is effective, I think. Oh, yeah, let's just go ahead and bulldoze. Let's try bulldozing once again. It's got 2 flinch moves. It's rather nice. Rather nice, actually. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and throw the Great Ball at it. Hopefully we get it at this level of hit points. One roll, it broke free. What's it gonna do now? Use Bite. We might survive. We just barely survived. Alright, so now we're gonna be a little scummy. We're gonna go over to our Lemonade. And we're going to full heal the Silly Cobra with the Lemonade. Man, you can't survive under the bulldoze, that's for certain. Anything else in the... here. We'll try a Dusk Ball. It does have a higher weighting for capture rate. 1, 2, 3, click. And there we go. Alright. So now we got this really cool rock water for when we go and fight Cabal. Not sure if it's exactly what we want to go after or not. But we are going to have a small brief interlude. Go ahead and stuff him in the box. We're going to set up camp real quick. The amazingness that is the Poke Camp. Cooking. We're going to get some cooking going on. And we're going to go ahead and use the mixed mushrooms. And we're looking for any berry that we happen to have a nice plentifulness of. Citrus berries. Go to cook. We're going to slow down the heat. Just enough. Alright, and then we're going to stir. You get the right pacing down, guys. You get the right heat down. And you get this to where it stops right about there. And this is usually going to be a silver class or higher. That's kind of what we're shooting for. We'd be fine with copper. We'd be fine with the Wobbuffet because that at least gets our hit points back and resurrects our guys. The Caparaja gets our PP restored. And that was basically all we would have wanted to camp for right now. Speaking of camping, a little side notes though, one thing to mention while we're in here. You can actually move these items in your listing here around. And I'm going to do that real quick. Hitting the Y button actually will allow you to juggle where these things go. And I sort of have on my personal save file a much different setup than what I have on this one. So we're going to take this moment to show you guys that you can change these around to the more used functions. And go ahead and save over here. And that way you can have certain features that you use in a better place. Alright, so we got a few more things to get. Soft sand. Kind of bypass that guy. So here comes guys talking about sending his guys flying. Drillbur. And that's a ground rock when it becomes extra drill. It's just ground to start with though. Maybe not. Maybe it's ground rock to start with. Unfortunately, he's not really all that fast compared to our Butterfree. Steel, that's what it is. Okay. I knew it was something in that ballpark. He does get double typing when he evolves though, right? Onix, we are absolutely going to switch our Pokemon. We're going to put out our Gyarados versus this Onix. For two reasons. One, we need the Intimidate to kind of lower the Onix a little bit. And two, he has the water typing, so that's pretty good. Intimidate, of course, drops the opposing enemy's attack by 2 levels, if I recall correctly. Just 1. Huh. Thought it used to be 2. But it makes it to where it's going to not knock us senseless when it hits us. As much, at least. And Onix fainted. You never know, it could have Sturdy. So you want to err on the side of caution against those. Soble's level 28. What's the one? Liquidation. What is Liquidation? 85-100. Lowers the defense stat. And you know, this Sobble is just not really good on physical attack either. And that's a physical attack move. Most of these are physical attack. Yucky, yucky. We want to keep Water Pulse because it's special attack. Alright, so we'll give up on that. Alright, and the train dude lost. Sobble's about to evolve. We're going to say, chill, Sobble. Alright, go ahead and grab this TM. Sandtome. I think, or we're thinking of Sandtome. Since it is a TM, we're going to go ahead and teach it to Silly Cobra. And we're going to give it Sandtome and Acidic Glare. Alright. So of note, we still haven't gotten a Noibat or Wormprod. I know we're nearing the end of the cave, so we're going to kind of backtrack a little bit to see what we need to spawn. Because when you do leave the area where these guys are overworld spawning, you get new spawns. Ah, we were hoping to avoid the shell loss. Didn't quite run in between the two of them. And we're just going to run from this fight. We should be able to escape. And we just missed it. So this area is probably the best place to farm Pokemon in this particular cave. If you're trying to catch certain ones, because it's the fastest way to get things to pop and repop. You can do it this side too. We don't want anything to do with the Binacle. I'm just going to give it just a couple of iterations. No, I bet would be great also. Of course, you can be reckless and go right into the middle of everything and maybe get lucky. There we go. Here we go. Here's a Wind Pod. Alright, Wind Pod. We're going to make this short and sweet and to the point. Sleep. Now that you're sleeping, crawl into our box. Well, first crawl into our dust ball, and then go into our computer box. Wimpod gets a really, really interesting Pokemon power. Ability, if you want to call it that. Depends upon what terming you use to start with. And the ability it gets is, when it evolves, is Ejector Seat. Or Escape Pod or something similar to that. Basically, when it gets low enough health, it runs away. It actually goes to your party, and you get to pull another Pokemon out. Depending upon the way your team's built, it's not a bad way to go about things. And since we got our opportunity to get us a Scraggy here, we're going to go ahead and super slash it, see if it survives. If it does, we'll just keep it. If it doesn't, we'll move on. I think it's emergency exit? Okay. I knew it was something like that. Oh, here we go. Here is a Aura Pokemon in the water. We'll see what it is. Ah, it's a wild Barboach. We don't have a need for a wild Barboach because we got the Dynamax one. And I'm really not keen on this particular Pokemon or its evolution in Wishcash. So we'll knock it down a peg or two and then we'll try to catch it, but we're not going to try to, like... Oh, it's in the red. We'll go ahead and we'll try to really catch it then. Because it's like, alright, throw Sleep Powder on it in the red. Throw a Great Ball at it. We want to keep our Dusk Ball for our Noivern. Alright, Great Ball, where are you at? Cool deal. It was pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy on that one, guys. No nickname to Barboach, but we are going to go into our box. And like anything that's got the special aura, we are going to change its markings to a blue diamond. So we'll know why is this extra one floating around. And that's why. Oh, can we get to one in time? Ah, we did. Okay. Awesome. Wild Noibat. It's Flying Dragon. Yes, that's right, guys. This is a Dragon type. A early Dragon type, which is very good for us. We're going to go ahead and Psybeam it. It should survive. And then we're going to go ahead and Sleep Powder it. Don't believe they've got an ability that prevents sleep. Oh, Butterfree. You know what? If I was as low on hit points as you were, I would be thinking about camping also. One, two, three, click. I'm actually okay with that because we do have a gym coming up. It's a fighting gym. We'll be training up some of these actual flyers. Alright, so we got the Noibat, we got the Sunfisk, we got the Wimpod. These are all Pokemon that we could get in the Wild Zone if we really wanted to. But getting them here and showing how fast we can do that, really good. Oh, the last kind of like part of the tour in here, Pokemon guys, is Shuckle. Shuckle used to be a competitive Pokemon, but he really kind of dropped in his effectiveness. I want to say it was like Gen 4 where he really fell off. Gen 3 wasn't good, but Gen 4 is kind of where it's like, we got some problems, Bob. And there's kind of a... that's right, he used Safeguard. Silly. Silly me. And then he used it again. Silly Shuckle. Now he's a Rock Bug, so that means that our Slash is basically a push. We really didn't want to hit him down to halfway because he's just going to use his Berry Juice. Struggle Bug's not going to do much damage to us, thankfully. But Shuckles were pretty legit a good wall stall Pokemon back in the day. Knocking our special attack. No longer has got the Safeguard, so we're going to Sleep Powder it. Throw a Great Ball at it, see if it works. Oh, crit catch. That's actually really good for us. So that was really, really good. When it zips down like that, guys, critical catch is basically a critical strike bit for the Pokeball. And that means that the odds of catching it go up by, I want to say it's either 2 levels or a level and a half. But we got a Shuckle. And we'll be able to do some fun things with Shuckle when we get to building in-game teams. Alright. Now we're up to Cabal. Caboo, how are you? Alright, so we're about to get into some more plot. And so he's the veteran Pokemon trainer for this game, guys. Kind of think like Lieutenant Surge from the first gen. Maybe Norman from third gen. Here we are, guys. Motosoki Outskirts. I do know about Pokejobs. I just forget to check them all the time. So out here, if you're going to go fight in a gym that's fire, rock types aren't too bad. Sudowoodo would definitely be one of those when you can get some stuff with. Bottle of PP up if we Decided on some stuff. Amulet coin. Nice little Meowth item. Oh, it's an actual Noctowl. Butterfree versus Noctowl is us getting out of there. Especially with the levels being equal. There is one Pokemon around here that we kind of want to get into. And coughing is not it. Not so much this rich lady either, but we'll fight her. Let's see here. That's special, so neither one of these should be a physical attack. Man, Butterfree, you're dozing off and I'm dozing off a little bit. Had another long night of work, guys, but I felt like I could carry on today. Unlike Butterfree, who just made a small little exit there. Alright, so the Cobra coming out. Send to this guy. Swoobat, we will switch Pokemon, and that's going to be Psychic Flying, so we'll put Gyarados out there because he's got Crunch. Swoobat, of course, is one of the best Pokemon to have on your team, first thing gem number 4. On Sword, not so much on Shield. There is a switch between the fighting and the Ghost gem as gem 4. Makes leveling your team on both games a little different. Alright, we get some experience points, level up Gyarados and Mudbray. Nice. High horsepower. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at this thing real quick. Awesome typing. Rather have Bulldoze gotten rid of, because they basically do the same. And I think Mudbray's about to level up to a Mudstill. Nope. Well, around here, guys, there would be there's a fighting type Pokemon that we can see occasionally, and it's well, on Shield there was. I don't know about Sword. Kind of spawning and despawning these guys. I'll go ahead and leave them be for now. Alright, we got us a officer to fight. Take this Mudbray, put him out front. Policemen generally have dogs as their particular Pokemon, which means that this guy's got a choice between like Arcanine, Growlithe, Bolton, and Yamper. Growlithe, for instance. And versus a ground type Pokemon, not a good option. Alright, so we're just going to high horsepower this guy. Bam, got that horseshoe right in the middle of the Growlithe's forehead in this case. Corphish level 28. This anti-fire gym team's coming out pretty good. 2760 for winning, excellent. Talk to this guy. Alright, so now we're on the bridge. These bridges, for the most part, are pretty good places to get things like the clever feather and here's another feather, most likely a genius feather, and these actually increase the base points. These are the IVs. These are the Poke DNA, as we call it. You'll notice, guys, this is where we actually left and wasn't able to go all the way because the Corvus Squire was blocking our path. This, as you recall, oh, burning the midnight oil. We'll be able to fight Kabu until the morning, though. So this is kind of important. The game does not allow morning to happen until you go to the hotel. So if you needed to do things that were only night-based, this would be the time to do it. Now, of course, certain quote-unquote night things are still going to be determined by your clock. One of those is when dusk is happening. Technically, when dawn is happening. A few other things like that. For the evolution of milceries. For certain other day and night situations as well. So we now have pretty much free reign to go anywhere we want on our map for the bottom portion. So now that we've gone the full circle, we can go anywhere through this area, most of this section of the wild. You can see where we kind of poked our head around here. One thing I do want to show you guys is we've not gotten to the daycare center around here yet. There's a daycare center here, and we could probably do that after we beat the gym tomorrow. So that sounds good. I gotta be honest, Turtle Club, we're gonna go into the hotel and let the plot happen to us, and we're gonna be probably calling it quits because my thoughts are not exactly cohesive at the moment. Alright, so Marnie, as we know, is Team Yell's favorite person. It's who they're cheering for, it's who they're rooting for. So we get a chance to test Marnie's metal. And we get to see what she's got made of. So first off is Krogunk. Krogunk, I want to say, is poison ground, but I know DB Master would be more than happy to correct me if I'm incorrect. Don't think it's definitely not water, and we'll just one shot it and not worry about it. Really digging high horsepower. Butterfree's still unconscious. We're gonna go ahead and switch because it's a Scraggy, which is dark. Poison fighting. Okay. Thank you for the correction there, DB Master. I knew it was one of the quote-unquote brown. I think that's where part of my problem comes from. A lot of my typing on the Pokemon games, once things got like beyond Gen 1, a lot of that came from the card game. And the card game used fighting energy, fire, grass, electric, water, and normal and psychic, and so ground wasn't a thing, and so like fighting, ground, rock, all that was in the same brown energy type, and so my brain kind of doesn't always keep them straight. More Peko. Now this is the coolest Pokemon. You look, guys, it's kind of like a Pikachu. We're going to use Stomp on it so we can see its Pokemon power come out. So we're going to stomp on this little electric rat. It's biting us. Doesn't quite take us out. We flinched, and then this thing gets hangry. Not making it up. The Pokemon power it uses is called Hangry, and it switched to Dark type. This is no longer super effective. But its Bite is now getting same type attack bonus, or Stab, which means we just lost our Mudbray to this fight. And it switches back to the Electric type. So now we're going to go and see Silly Cobra should help us round this fight out. That's a 35. Remember, we want to use the 60. And speed ran down. Alright. And now it's back to being dark. If we had a fighting move, we'd be alright. Sand Tome and Bulldoze and all that, we still get same type attack bonus. But it does get that for Bite. So there's a good chance we might have flinched. A good chance we just would have lost. But we pulled it off, guys. Level 29 Sobble. We did pretty good. We leveled Sobble like 3, maybe 4 times a day. And he's got just 5 more levels going. Electric Dark in both forms. Oh. Interesting. Interesting, because they don't seem to show up like that in Cerebi last I had checked. Well, here we go, guys. We are sleeping in the game. Next morning. Cowboys lead card. Two Burn Hills. Alright. So we could go and take a look at these lead cards for a second. Here's the album. Flip the card over, it gives you some information about them. Of course, here's Digrat's league card. Shiny, she's got to update that though. And you, of course, have the numbers. Now, I understand that there is something interesting about the numbers on this. Apparently there's like Easter eggs in all these numbers. But yeah, these are... I do like the way that these kind of came out in the game, guys. And apparently each of these trainer league cards have rare forms as well. And you can kind of, especially on roses, you can kind of see the way the fonts work in this game. For like letters and words. But yeah, Turtle Club, it is about 5 minutes early, so I am sorry. I am kind of like staring at pictures almost. We are going to call the stream tonight, this morning, however you want to talk about it. But because we are ending 5 minutes early, when we have our buffet on Saturday, we're going to add 5 minutes to the clock. I think that sounds fair. I think that sounds reasonable. It'll be 5 minutes after all the calculations are done as well, which means that rounding up will get the bonus that it should have, and everything else. So DB Master, thank you for hanging out with me, man, and for correcting me where I was incorrect. I'm still learning a lot of some of these newer generation Pokemon. And newer generation, of course, is everything like post Ruby Sapphire for the most part. I played a lot through Black and White, but that was a long time ago, and it didn't really resonate with me as much. But appreciate everyone who's watching this on replay as well. Thank you all, guys. I'm going to have myself a good night. You all have a good breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Whatever you're about to do, guys. This is Max Synchro saying have a good one, and thanks for watching. Take care, guys.